No, because police stopped me already, and them alert me to the fact that my fitness was out for a couple of days.
Correct. Now, if
Right.
if I have driven an uninsured car,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a risk that I took for myself,
Right.
and I very well
Mm-hmm.
know that if I go on the road with this car and the police stop me, I know the consequences.
Correct. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you? Now,
Mm-hmm.
don't you think that those people knew the consequences when they were taking the risk of investing in the property, knowing very well
Of
they
course.
have no title and that at any time they could be removed?
Of course. But my question to you, I answer your question as yes, right? But the question is, what was did you expect any better though from individuals who have made that decision in the first place to invest on a land that had so much risk of them losing it, right? In the near future, it's not a good decision in the
And
first
and
place,
and that is the point I'm making. That if you drive a car that is not licensed, you know you are taking a risk. You're not an idiot because you
Yeah.
know the law. You know the law. But you still take a
Mm-hmm.
chance and say, well, you hope that the police not take you. So these people were living in hope that somehow the owner would never remove them from
Yeah.
it. That is their
Probably I
risk
would.
that they took.
Yeah. Probably I would say they wanna drop out.
Right, that is their aesthetic. So this emotion. The man who just came on the program just now said, "Listen, we can't make decisions on emotions. You can't, because I know, Joshua, that if you turn up at your workplace and you see a man sitting in your car, you know, emotions will say to you, but him look like a little sick. But your sense is going to say to you, I am paying for this car, brethren. You have to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, own this. We can't allow a man
Mm-hmm.
because he say, boy, the man say, so my baby mother just have baby, so you make him go on with your car and say, go on with this car, sir. You would do that?
No. No.
No, I wouldn't do it either. Not because you have a 3-month-old baby in a bad pan. You're gonna say, all right, stay. No, you can't make decisions like that.
Plus taking in, you have to also put everything into context. I mean, how long were they living on the land? I mean, even if you're squatting for the whole purpose of bettering yourself and easing some of the pressure so you can do other things. It seems like people just wanted to live there and the generations just die out and the people them landing don't make no sense.
Yeah. I want you to comment on this, Joshua, too. That the judge that ruled on this matter made a comment that we've been discussing tonight. It says the hardship suffered by Mr. Chisholm is the owner of the land,
Mm-hmm.
appeared to result from a view held by public officials and the claimant that because he, Mr. Chisholm, did not come from a tradition of large landowners, he had no right to own such a large parcel of land. And that the remedy was an emancipation of their minds. So the judge is saying that the government at the time brought a case, and the judge seems to be saying that this was social prejudice against the landowner.
Yeah.
Do you feel as a black man growing up in Jamaica that you have all the freedom to achieve what you want to achieve?
Um, I want to say it's mixed, right? But I would say 90% yes, right? And I'll tell you why. Because I mean, so far, I haven't really encountered any.
So if a police
Um,
if a police stops you if a police stops you on the road, they will not seem prejudicial against you because of the car you drive.
um, Prejudicial in a good way most of the times.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah, most of the times they stop me, them ask me my work, and then them say, all right, go along, sir.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really, had any encounters, in life that's would have swayed my opinion on that
But
anything.
don't you find this very troubling that a judge would be suggesting that the state would be
Uh-huh.
bringing a case before them that seems nothing to do with the law, but that them think the man shouldn't own so much land?
Yes, yes. But again, that leads back to probably politics. Which I said, I realize is really a big of why the misinformation about everything that is going on. Because I mean, just spending 10 minutes, 15 minutes here on the live, I've been able to understand fully the situation of the whole Cooper's place, right? But if you go on social media and your FYP right now, trust me, it seems like the government is the one responsible for doing such a bad thing,
Uh-huh.
pushing all the people out of the place, which that's not the case,
Uh-huh.
right?
How
So,
do you know that that is not the case?
based on as I said, I wasn't really following the full details of the case, but based on our conversation tonight, right, and just listening, even before I got on here, I was able to deduce much of what was really going on, right? In that the
Well,
people were
let me
not even
pause. Let me
squatting.
pause and tell my listeners that that is the benefit of education, and that is why I am a big promoter of education, because it develops critical thinking. Here's a young man saying, in 15 minutes time, 15 minutes, by just listening, he was able to deduce that this has nothing to do with the government. So what about those people who are blaming the government, Joshua? And some of them have degrees.
And I tell you that is really a plot to churn the actual information and truth to benefit their agenda, right? Is a part of their politics, I would think.
Oh,
Yeah, because I've seen it. I've seen persons who claim to be very intelligent and gone to the universities and what have you and have a big platform. And I passed a few of their videos and I've realized that majority, no matter what the situation is, it's really to one end, which is to blame a party for whatever is going on, right? It's never to really discuss the truth, right, and lay accountability and promote reasoning or critical thinking. That's not the case. It's really just to take advantage of the people's emotion, to sway them to possibly think a specific type of way. That's what I've been seeing, in the media, right? So that's why I'm saying that since I've been here, just listening, I've been able to kind of understand the full situation, right? And this has nothing to do with politics. It's just facts. That is exactly what is going on, right? After that, I can make my own opinion or come up with my own conclusion on the matter, right? But at least I have the information to begin with.
uh-huh.
And that
One
is
more
what we
question
need
before
to
you go,
media.
because I'm running out of time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the prime minister is saying that the government will have to do something about the social media bloggers that are out there misinforming the public. To what extent do you think that Jamaica need to get a hold of this this as a society? And what damage you think social media is doing to the people?
That is a question, neighbor, that I don't think can be constrained to just one life, because I think social media is really damaging our society on multiple levels, right? But as it relates to just what we're referring to now, it's bad because I already believe just at the base level, we are not a country or a culture that promotes critical thinking. It's really just acting out of emotions, right? Without getting any type of substantial information to sway your opinions on a matter. That's just the culture of a lot of Jamaicans, right? Especially the ones that are not necessarily or don't pursue education or value education, right? So with that culture being paired with a lot of misinformation, especially when you have platforms that you know people platforms with big following, it really does our society even worse, right? Because you're just adding gas to a fire that seems to be burning indefinitely,
Uh-huh.
right? Yeah, so it's something that really needs some attention, because as I said, if I didn't know better, I would believe that the government is literally trying to just go around and hurt people.
That is the but you did not hear the counter narrative from the government.
Honestly, no.
Oh well,
Honestly,
well
no,
that's a
because
but that's
again,
a problem then.
yes, because again, you know, the truth is, so you see, social media. Well, and it all depends on where majority of the population is tuned into. Because I mean, probably if it was Instagram, probably I would have seen. I think I saw something come out in the Gleaner on Instagram related to the matter, but majority of what I've seen is on TikTok, and it has been with the same narrative because again, you're gonna see on your FYP what is going
And the
viral.
most, the majority of Jamaicans you think are on TikTok.
Yes, for sure, for
Oh,
sure. TikTok is running the place now, right? But what is going viral is going to be led by people. Because remember, I said emotions and reactions is what push things viral. Is when people, are compelled to react to something or actually watch it or leave their opinions. And again, we are in a culture where people like to, just react before thinking. So if you sell them a good story that ignites their emotions and feelings towards a certain matter, then you're going to get the viral video that you want.
why what
Right?
what has created such a society though? Because is it the very society that you grew up in the 90s? Well, the 2000
Um,
you are what has
I think
created this society?
I think as you said, neighbor, it's things that should be developed, but aren't necessarily developed, in everyone's journey. And I think education has a big thing to do with it, because I think one of the things that education tries to develop in individuals is critical thinking. Listening, understanding, and making decisions based on the information that you have,
Yes.
right? But majority of Jamaicans, unfortunately, don't necessarily value education as much, and therefore won't value or be able to develop a lot of those things that are necessary to really, you know, deduce and analyze, certain scenarios to understand what is really going on. The moment them get a story, oh, that are really going on, boom, this and that, and them tell them friend, them tell them auntie, them tell them family member, and then post a video and it talking all bag of foolishness, not knowing where the information is actually coming from and how to validate it, right? In my line of work, I am a data person, as you know, so I have to validate every single thing that I'm going to use to make a decision, right? Because I know the risk that is associated with and again, as a data person, I can appreciate it. They say garbage in, garbage out, right? So your information that you're starting off with has to be legitimate, and it has to be valid, right? You can't just go off for anything and then expect to have a foolproof outcome. It doesn't work like that. But
As an
yes,
outsider, Joshua, if you were to give the government a piece of advice as how do you correct this malaise, what would you say?
I think I have a really busy life, and I think the fact that certain things can reach me faster than the truth. I believe the government needs to be more creative. I think they're probably their younger leg or segment in their social media approach, right? I mean, I see Jamaica Constabulary Force doing it, right? They go viral every time, right? And I think it's just how creative they are in terms of relaying certain information and just kind of keeping up with the times, right? You have to change the approach if your intention is to um, grasp the public and kind of relay the information that you need out there, right? Things and times are changed, especially when it comes down to the media, and I feel like they just need to put more work in as it relates to that, right? Because I believe something like this could have been cleared up earlier.
Mm.
Based on how long I've been seeing it running on TikTok, I think it could have been cleared up earlier by the government, so the people can actually understand exactly what
And
is
you
going
think
on.
that the people are capable of understanding?
Yes, 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 yes.
In a political environment that is so tribalized, where one side pushes a narrative for their political interest, and their supporters do the very same.
Well, I'm not necessarily referring to those who are hard-headed to believe anything, because for sure you can tell
Not
somebody.
hearing you so well.
You hearing me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm referring to those who aren't necessarily so hard-headed that if you tell them that you have an apple and them say bring it come, and when you show them the apple, them still say no, you don't have apple, it's a pear you have. I'm not talking about those individuals, right? I'm talking about the persons who would actually want to know what is really going on, but are being misled by people who have a
An
closer
agenda.
connection to them, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that those are the individuals that I think can be saved. Right?
Yes.
So I think the government needs to do a little better as it relates to the media reach. Just how we reach the population through social media. Especially when I think especially in situations like this where there's a lot of emotions surrounding it, and a lot of people are tuning in to understand exactly what is going on.
Yes.
Because I've seen people leave opinions from overseas. People overseas looking in, and the narrative is that is the government is doing that, and they must say, why? Can't believe this is what my country gone to, and all of them stuff, right? So, yeah, the truth needs to be more available, especially in these type of times that we're living in.
Yeah. Well, fantastic, man. Love to talk to you a little bit more on it, eh? Yeah. You may have to join the politics and join the party. You and member Harry. Member?
Harry so well closer to it, right?
Yes.
Very, very clear.
You have to recruit him, member.
We'll see, Dave. We know who's the great recruiter in the bunch,
Aye. Yes. Yeah. All right, Joshua. Thanks, man.
All right, cool. Night, everyone.
Good. Matsik. Hello.
Good evening to everybody.
Close us out, no, Matsik. Please close us out.
Yes, I just want to make one important point because we know time is down.
Yeah.
Neighbor, what we need to focus on and try to help the populace and the listeners to realize is that when a matter goes to court and a judge make a conclusion or made any comment at the end of the trial about the situation, it is the fact that the argument was brought up before him. The judge don't come and make wild bash about people or things or situation. And this is in regards to Mr. Chisholm being considered to be not a privileged person to obtain such a large parcel of land. This was an argument that was presented by the government to the court at that time, neighbor.
Yes.
It would have had to be brought to the attention of the judge by these people. This is a part of their defense. And when we look at it, we need to look and see who is safe with PNP being in governance. Because on one hand, Mr. Chisholm, who is not privileged to own certain land, may have worked his ass off to obtain what he had. And then the people who are squatting at the same time would be considered to be a poor people, wanting to elevate to be of standard, is also being pulled down. Because